Okay, so to start out, it might be a good idea for you to use your iPad and do a Google image search of a desert road. And then that will bring up a whole bunch of different photographs of real desert roads. So this will be a great way for you to get some ideas for different details that you could add into your desert road. Okay, so after you find an image that you like, I like this one because it's very simple. The only real details that I see are maybe some shrubs and, bushes and little pieces of dry grass that are living on the side of the road here, and then some mountains in the background, very simple clouds. So that's what I'm going to do because it's very simple. So the first thing that I'm going to do is find some ground lines. So I notice right here, the edge of the road where the vanishing point is, there is a clear, distinct line between this area and this area. So I'm going to draw that kind of towards the middle of my paper. I'm drawing very lightly, kind of sketching it out, sketching using a loose wrist, feathery lines. Okay, and then I'm going to draw these hills here in the background. Again, using a loose wrist, feathery sketch lines. And then I'll add the mountains in the background where the horizon line is. The horizon line is where the sky comes down to meet the earth or the ground. In this case, it's the mountains. So I'm looking at the basic shapes of the mountains and kind of sketching them. Now, keep in mind that your goal is not to make your drawing look exactly like the photograph. The photograph was taken with a camera. I am a human being and I am hand drawing this. So my artwork is not going to look exactly the same as this photograph taken with a camera. So keep that in mind. It's okay if it doesn't look exactly the same. Mine is not going to look exactly the same and I'm okay with that. Okay, kind of sketching out my mountains here using some triangular kind of lines. Okay, and then now I'm going to do the road. Let's talk about the road. Okay, so remember our vocabulary terms: horizon line, vanishing point, receding lines. These are all things that you're going to need to know and remember when you're drawing your road. So find the vanishing point where the road kind of disappears into the horizon, and then just kind of estimate, kind of put a dot somewhere. So I know it's kind of in the middle, so I'm going to put a dot there. And then what I'm going to do is draw receding lines. Receding lines can be shown using a diagonal line or a slanted line. And I know that the road, the frame of the picture, the edges, the road goes right off the edge. And it doesn't go down to the corner. I can see that it kind of, goes off the side of the paper, not down to the corner. So I'm going to keep that in mind as I'm drawing my line too. So I'm going to just sketch, again, that road line, the side of the road. And it's going to go off the side of the paper instead of down to the corner. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and there's the basic shape of my road going back into space. So now what I'm going to do is start adding the details. So things like the lines in the road, the yellow side lines, maybe some of the shrubs and some of the plants that are growing out in the desert. And then I'm going to outline with Sharpie. So notice when you draw your lines on the road, if your picture has lines on the road, the shapes of the road lines as they go back into space, they get smaller and smaller and smaller until they reach the vanishing point and we can no longer see them. So keep that in mind when you are drawing yours. So I'm going to start here with this middle road line. Kind of looks like a rectangle. And then I'm going to move up to the next one, which is smaller because it's going back into space. And then I'm just going to continue making them smaller and smaller until they vanish. And the same kind of idea with the yellow lines on the side of the road. So I'm going to draw another line. And then I'm going to draw one over on this side. And as I'm getting back towards the horizon line and the vanishing point, those lines are going to start to come together and meet. So I'm bringing them closer, 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 and then they're meeting. I'm going to do that on the other side. Closer, 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 and meeting. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is save the plant details that are on the side of the road for when I move on to the paint pencils. So what I'm going to do right now is trace everything with a Sharpie and then erase some of those extra sketch lines that I no longer need. All right, I'm all finished with my sketching. My outlining my sketch lines, getting rid of my sketch lines by erasing. And then what we're going to do next time is move on to talk about coloring and using the paint pencils again. But for now, I'm going to stop and I'll see you back here next class for part 2.